Welcome to Vinnies Talk, man. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Today is a very sad day because I have to once again talk about someone who have lost their lives, man. Before I start the podcast, I wanted to say a prayer and just remembering the victims of this case. Justice for Ethan, justice for Xana, justice for Kaylee, and justice for Madison, man, the 4 students who tragically lost their lives to somebody we don't know who it is. That's the craziest thing about this whole case. This is near the university in Idaho, and this happened inside their home that they were living in. A lot of crazy things that are developing. We've seen videos of some of the students, some of the kids that were nearby a food truck, hour before they had lost their lives. And this is the shit that, has us raising our eyebrows and has us asking more, like, what the hell happened here, man? So, but before we had started this video, I wanted to say a prayer because to me it's very important that these students get justice. This is what they would want. This is what their parents would want. And I just want to send my condolences to the families of the lost here. No one deserves to die like this. And how it happened is very crazy. Now, to put my thoughts once again before I start talking, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. All right, guys. There's a lot of things being said on YouTube, so I don't want people to think anything of this. This is what I think in my opinions. But these are my thoughts and how I feel about this. And just reading over and looking over different videos on YouTube, I'm just like, wow. And then watching the reports from the news, reports were saying that there was calls being made from one of the girls, it was like an hour before, 6 calls were made to someone named Jack, and no answer. I guess some of the things that got my attention from reading and learning more, because I'm still learning about this case. This is a crazy one. We have a serial killer still on the loose. You know what I'm saying? They still haven't found this dude. Still haven't found this woman, whoever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Michael Myers, who the fuck knows? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say anything out of turn, but this is crazy. Law enforcement seems to be trying to handle this the right way. So being careful what they release. And then, there was 2 roommates still in the house when all this went down. So I'm just like, wow. So, you wouldn't think that one of them would have heard something in the distance, or, you know what I'm saying? Because being asleep when this supposedly, quote unquote, what happened when they were sleeping, they had been stabbed to death. So being asleep, man, whoever did this is a coward, and just seems to me like it could be more isolated than this was not planned, or somebody kind of knew of like how they did things. There was no signs of any forced entry inside the home. 2 of the students had made it home roughly around 2:00 in the morning. By 4:00 in the morning, they were passed. And, it makes you kind of wonder about, like, what kind of security was in the home? Did they have cameras? Right now, we haven't seen that they had cameras. Maybe across the street, another neighbor had seen something, or they had cameras or something of that sort. But the fact that someone is still on the lurking, someone's still out there, is very messed up, guys. And it's very sad because no one deserves this, guys. So justice for them, not a way. And you're not going to sit here and tell me like, oh, this is how it meant to be, and God took them. No. Their life was taken from them because of some coward ass person decided to do this, right? So now we're trying to pick the pieces apart and trying to figure out what in the hell went wrong, right? So we really don't know too much except for what they're releasing in the press conference, and I have yet to watch it, but I'm just telling you guys what I think about so far, right? but so young, man. These kids. And another thing is that you're out late at night, and it's like when I was a kid. Back when I was a kid, and I was doing things. I mean, we used to stay out all night, guys. We used to stay out all night. We used to party. Shit, now the street lights come on, motherfuckers gotta go home. It's just like, dude, it's not safe out there anywhere you go. So always be on the lookout. Always keep your head up. You know what I'm saying? Don't look around. Don't be all up in your phone. And I know how addicting the phone can be, but we truly don't know anymore because the way our life is so crazy, man. Trying to cover one case at a time. You know, when I'm covering Kylie Rodney case, trying to recap that and learn more about that, then another case happens in this sort. What else I was learning about this case and is the code that was on the front of the door. So I guess, you know, they weren't too concerned about it. Or they were just not putting too much effort into securing that. There was a sliding door, and then there was a door with a key code, right? A key code. Now, what had happened to that? How maybe someone seen that or someone found out and that had opened. But supposedly, it didn't happen there. It happened through the sliding door, right? But this is all just hearsay. We don't really know the facts. I mean, people could say one thing until we know actually what happened. But the crazy thing is if I had a freaking keypad shit, I mean, that shit would be secure, and I would have a fucking camera to see who's coming up and down this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. Don't mean to swear, guys, but it's kind of like so shocking that you could be in one spot at one time of your life, and then all of a sudden everything's gone and you're gone. You don't exist anymore. So prayers for these kids, man, because this is right around the holidays, and this is it's a touchy thing, man. You know, we have their families grieving, and then, you know, right around the holidays decide that this is it for them. You know, it's not right, dude. So I really hope that they find the killer, because right now we have a serial killer on the loose. And if that doesn't say anything, I don't know, man. That shit is crazy to me, guys. But also, another thing that I'm thinking about, that I was wondering about, is these two roommates. And I'm not saying that they did anything wrong or anything like that, but I'm just trying to figure out how they could sleep through. Like, if supposedly this would have happened, that, you know, the killer was in there and they're supposed to be upstairs, they're getting killed, there's something's going on, and they don't hear nothing, or you don't hear screams, or maybe they just start screaming because they're used to this, right? People are used to this because of the partying, because they're used to the people partying, so they're used to people being loud. But everything that shit went down, supposedly that there was two roommates still in there, and they were fine or whatnot, and they didn't actually excuse me, they didn't call the police until like 11 a.m. in the morning. And I'm just like, wow, dude, like, true a crime that has been committed should be reported, so there is no evidence tampered with, right? That's what we know. But it's so many sketchy things that I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying there's so many sketchy things that went wrong beforehand. Like, motherfuckers were, you know what I'm saying, excuse me, people were at this food truck stop, and then they're looking at somebody wearing a hood, but no, this dude has been cleared, and all this other stuff. Oh, he hasn't been cleared, or we don't really know all this shit. So I'm still learning, but I'm also like, this person is going to give them a ride home, or the Uber driver, and all this other stuff. But I guess the thing that kind of bothers me the most is the security system, or not having a secure system on a house, especially if you're living in a house with you have 6 people living together, 5-6 bedrooms. I mean, there should be some type of secure system, a camera, you know, a deadbolt lock on the door, especially if you got a sliding door. Make sure there's a lock. Make sure you keep that shit locked, especially when you go to sleep. Motherfuckers be lurking. It's very sketchy to me that, or was it that they trust that people They could just be like, hey, you could just come right in. We'll leave the door open. But today's 2022, man. Can't be trusting nobody, man. Nah, especially on YouTube, guys. But yeah, this is very, very crazy. There's so many of ways of looking at this and still learning about this case. Because it's still an open investigation, y'all. And for me, that really bothers me. The fact that there was, and if there was, because I didn't hear about it, but I'm just saying like that there wasn't no cameras. You're living in this house, and it's not a small house. It's a pretty big house. You get all these rooms. You got to think that protection is everything. Security, like, I don't know, man. I'm just shaking my head because it's very sad that you see him watching on the video. Everybody's happy, you're laughing, getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving, and then it ends up like this. Who needs to be in the questions? Like, who do they need to question? Where do you guys think this should go? And I just can't believe they haven't found a suspect yet, man. He's still out there, whoever it is. See, God seeks through evil, man. So no matter what happened here, this is very bad. God will always see through. And now, I'm not a super religious person, but I do believe in higher power, and I believe that God will see this through, and we will find justice for Ethan, justice for Xana, justice for Kaylee, and justice for Madison, because that's what it's about, man. This is it's a tough one, man. I need a drink of water. I'm really also questioning, who is she calling? One of the roommates was calling someone 6 times and no one answered the phone. And like shortly after that, that's when she had lost her life, right? What was going on then? Who was being contacted, right? They're still trying to figure this out. This was like some things that they're trying to map together and puzzle together. And could she be reaching out for help, right? Could the killer be in there trying to take them out at that moment? The thing is we don't know. Still trying to get to the bottom of this, guys, and learn more. I'm still going to learn more about it. And it just seems almost like it wasn't isolated, because like they knew which room to go into of the house. Like whoever was doing this and that, you know what I'm saying? They knew, let's go through this door, not that door. Let's go into this door. Let's go in through this window. Let's go into the bedroom. And we know, like, it almost seemed like whoever was doing this kind of stuff, or it seemed like maybe they knew these people, right? Once again, these are just my thoughts, man, on how I feel. And I'm just looking at it like, wow. Was there some type of beef, you know what I'm saying, between somebody and this person, right? We don't know that either. But it could be, right? It could be. But we don't know. But we will find out. God always points to the truth. Shortly after, they were at the food truck. They made their way back home. They were at a party. 2 of the roommates were at a party. Some party they were at. A couple hours after that, like I said, man, about 4 o'clock in the morning, they were no longer with us. And it's crazy to think that you see all of them together on the video, man. Everybody's having a good time. And, you know, shortly after that, they're just gone. Life is too short. I've done a podcast about this before, and it's you never know when it's your time and when your time is up. So that's why I feel like you have to be thankful, man. So I'm gonna keep searching, sleuthing through, trying to learn more about this case. But this is, prayers to the fallen, man. Prayer justice for these students, for the kids out there. This is very important to get to the bottom of this and get this guy, woman, whoever this may be responsible for this, off the streets, because this shit is crazy. Yeah, another thing that gets to me is just learning about the different rooms in this house, that they had passed away on the second and third floor, and some of the students, some of the kids that were stabbed to death had defensive wounds. So were they trying to fight this dude off? Did they know? That's where it comes down to be like, that's where it leaks into my mind, where it just like kind of leans towards like maybe they knew who this person was. Motherfucker, they knew, but this person knew where to go type shit. You know what I mean? That's where it kind of feels like, you know what I mean? Also, this was like one of them straight knives, like them knives you see on like the Scream, like one of them big blades or whatnot. So, but this shit crazy, man. Like, so yeah, man, say prayers. Kaylee, Xana, Madison, Ethan, man, justice for y'all, man. For real talk, you guys. And so this is very sad, It's almost like the killer. Excuse me, guys. I'm just adjusting. It's almost like the killer stalked these kids, man. I'm not saying he knew who the frick they were, but it seemed like maybe he did, or maybe she did, or whoever it was that did it was stalking them, and like on some Michael Myers, on some like Jason Voorhees, on some Scream, on some like, man, lock your doors, Idaho, man, lock your doors, because this shit is crazy. Like, you never know in this today's age. Just the way that it was sought out, just the way that this person had went about their business, how they moving, this person, how they moving. You know what I'm saying? The students, we're down there by the food truck, and then were they potentially being stalked down there? These are the questions and answers we need, right? Was the stalker there? Because it almost seemed like maybe there was a stalker down there. God dang it. I don't know, y'all. This is some crazy shit. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining Vinnies Talk. Justice for all these students, man. Until we get justice, we're going to be recapping this, talking about this. And thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Probably do a Thanksgiving special for the holidays. But anyways, guys, thank you, all right, for joining today's True Crime Talk, Vinnies Talk. Justice for these kids, man. All right, guys. Peace.